Hello, it is Topical Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. Steve Sipress here on a gorgeous day here in sunny southern Arizona. I hope it's fantastic wherever you are as well. And so in the news lately, these big corporations keep doing this over and over. The big investors, Blackrock and these other globalist elitist type of companies that hold a lot of sway over these corporations because they control the institutional dollars that invest in these companies. So the whole go woke, go broke thing, even if these corporations did not want to go along with that, knowing that it's suicidal, people are wondering, gee, it's suicidal. Why do they keep doing this? Target now, Northface, Budweiser, of course, on and on and on, all kinds of companies. And I saw this somebody being interviewed on some flicking around the cable news channels, and nobody challenged this person. So I'm hoping that you don't believe this and fall for this and make this mistake in your business. I forget if it was a him or her, but they asked and said, like, yeah, well, all these companies, with the go woke, go broke, they're all getting creamed, losing billions of dollars of market share and billions of dollars of market cap with their stocks going down and their sales going down. And someone said, yeah, but the NFL recovered. They did the whole, years ago, they did the whole disrespect yourself and your fans and your country and your national anthem and your flag and kneel all over the place and all that crap. And, they recovered. I'm like, is anyone going to, everyone was like nodding their head like, oh yeah, so I guess Target and Bud Light and Northface, these companies, they can recover. Yeah. No. No. And it's not likely, although there are exceptions, and I'll explain them, that your business could also. Here's the thing. The NFL is a monopoly. They've been pounded for being a monopoly and been challenged. And, whenever they do something that Congress doesn't like, Congress threatens to go after them for antitrust and this and that. And speaking of which, politicians going after the NFL for antitrust just brought to mind the comical Donald Trump USFL lawsuit decades ago, where the jury ruled, yep, they did violate the USFL by being a monopoly, and we award $1 in damages. Like, in other words, we just don't really care. And of course, since it's antitrust, the damages in those kind of cases are what is known in the legal world as trebled. They are tripled. So Donald Trump came away for the USFL with a whopping $3. Anyway, so the NFL has long been a monopoly. There's nowhere else to go for football fans. But Target, come on now. How many stores carry similar merchandise online, offline, Amazon? They'll deliver it right to your house in 1 day or 2 days or something. Walmart's, plenty of other stores that carry pretty much all the exact same stuff as Target. A Bud Light, what is that? Some kind of like unique type of beer? There's got to be at least a dozen similar beers, similar calories, similar weakness, similar taste, similar everything. Northface, I'm sure there's other companies well known. I'm not a mountain climber or an outdoorsman or whatever, but I'm sure there's plenty of companies looking to take up the slack, and they already have, and they will continue to, in the outdoor, down jacket world that Northface is in, and on and on and on. There are plenty of alternatives. So the NFL did recover, and so would one of these companies or a company that's got a monopoly. So here's the exception for you and your business. If you are, say, the only dentist in town, or the only chiropractor in your part of town, or the only plumber with a certain type of piece of equipment that does a certain specialized thing that contractors always need, or governments, big projects need this big machine, and you're the only one with it, or anything like that, where you have a type of monopoly, then yeah, you could possibly survive going woke and not go broke. But come on now. It's just not suggested that you go the opposite. Injecting politics in your business is fine. Injecting anything is fine, as long as you realize that that's going to attract certain type of customer, client, patient, member. And so I've spoken about this several times, so I'm not going to go into it now, but if you want to reach out to new, different clients, customers, patients, members, slight difference is okay. Although just follow the rule I always follow is, I'll take anybody that comes into my restaurant, but I'm not going to advertise to people that are not my ideal customers coming in, right? I had a client years ago, had a sewing shop, and I said, let's narrow down. She was all over the place with the marketing and advertising. So we narrowed down one specific type of ideal customer. And of course, knee-jerk reaction of her and just about everybody else. I did also when I first started learning about effective advertising and marketing. I pushed back on it. She was like, well, but, we do have some men that like to come into the shop and whatever, and a member of our club and our this, and I'm like, sure, that's fine. Like, if they can find you, they can come in with their wives, they can come in, they can see the newspaper ad, they can pick up the women's magazine that their wife is reading, they can say, I want to do that. They can find you, but you're not going to waste. This is my suggestion to you, dear listener, viewer, reader, however you're getting this. Do not waste 1 second of time, 1 ounce of energy, 1 penny of your resources reaching out to people that are not your ideal target market. They can find you. I'm almost certain that there are people that love obnoxious, cross-dressing men that prance around and insult women, men, and just about everybody. I'm sure there's people that like this Dylan Mulvaney guy that happen to drink Bud Light. They can find Bud Lights right there in the store. I mean, if you go to a stadium, sometimes it's the only beer they have. Like, they can find it. But you don't spend time, money, and effort going after someone that is so averse to your loyal base that you could stand to insult and lose some of your loyal base. You just don't do that. So the NFL did it. I haven't, of course, paid any attention to anything to do with the NFL for, I don't know how long it's been now, maybe 5 years or something, since that whole kneeling, disrespecting me and my country and my flag, my national anthem, and themselves, their own country. I mean, the whole thing is so ridiculous, the NFL. Like, really? But most people I know that were, I was a diehard NFL fan, addicted to the whole thing my whole life. Season tickets to games and, on and subscribing to the, whatever it was, that's why we got the satellite dish. We got the DirecTV because of the season ticket or Sunday ticket or whatever it was called. And I remember calling to cancel it like 1 week into the season years ago. And just haven't paid attention to it. But most people I know that are addicted, they're not as addicted NFL fans. They're not as stubborn as me. Very few people are. So when I make a decision, I stick to it until I get new information that could change my mind. I haven't heard anything new about the NFL and Roger Goodell not being ridiculously woke and disrespectful to their own fan base. However, their own fan base, just like heroin addicts or any other addict, knows it's not good for them, knows they're disrespecting them, but they're addicted. So they still pay attention to the NFL. That's not going to be happening with Bud Light. Now, by the way, Bud Light, so a little insight into Bud Light. That brand's been around about 30 years. So that brand initially, the marketing and advertising was targeted at the active person that wanted to drink some beer. And they retargeted their Bud Light specifically to the less active beer drinker. So the ads that for Budweiser exclusively started coming out with men with beer bellies and suspenders and flannel shirts and the Clydesdales, and they're sitting at the bar and it's Bud time, or they're a factory worker or this and that. And the Bud Light was shirtless beach volleyball players or just kids, running around on the beach or having a cookout or whatever, like younger, more active. Well, here's the thing. Brands have been around about 30 years. So now there are Bud Light drinkers that have been loyal to Bud Light since they were young and active 30 years ago when it came out, and that's just been their beer, Bud Light. Now they are older, less active. They didn't necessarily switch over to Budweiser. They still see themselves, or they did, as loyal Bud Light drinkers. But anyway, this whole cross-dressing, prancing around, insulting guy. I mean, you know, gay people, straight people, women, men, everyone is annoyed by this ridiculous character, this Dylan Mulvaney. Just about everybody. I mean, they're like, oh, he's an influencer. He has 1 million followers. Yeah. Likely most of them out of curiosity. And like, what's this guy all about? Like, not like, ooh, rooting him on and give me a keg of beer while I root on this guy. Like, just major mistake. And you see it happening over and over by brands. I don't think that's going to stop, because there's a lot of pressure from the big money people in the world that want to push the globalist, elitist agenda, where all their fake causes that are all the same. It's always a crisis of one thing or the other that's not real, but people fall for it over and over. So they'll keep doing that, and they'll keep pressuring the big corporations. Your company likely not being invested in by Blackrock, and you therefore will not be blackmailed into making a huge mistake and disrespecting your core base. Again, unless you happen to be a monopoly, then you can get away with it. I don't know why you'd still want to do it, but you could possibly get away with it by the skin of your teeth if you are a monopoly, or as for long as, until someone sees that and says, like, what the heck? This chiropractor was the only chiropractor in Crown. He's gone a little loony. I'm just going to open up shop in that town and take all the clients and the patients that he pissed off with this ridiculous advertising and marketing he's doing. Anyway, that'll do it for Topical Tuesday. If you want more on this, we can go on all day, of course, and I could specifically tailor this to how you can make it work in your business, either to stand to gain or, much more importantly in this case, to avoid major mistakes and major loss of time, energy, and most of all, money. Go to helpfromsteve.com if you want my help. Otherwise, thanks for being here today, and I'll catch you back here again tomorrow on World Wide Web Wednesday.